Primal Chaos. Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Now, I'm going to be diving back into the career of young Angelina Jordan again today. I said that I was going to go through and do her stuff chronologically, and, you know, with a little bit of jumping around, that's kind of what I've been sort of doing. I've had a lot of help from the community, namely Jed, who's been sending me emails and giving me updates on what's going on and things like that, which is super helpful. Appreciate that. Got a big list here of stuff to get through. But, you know, it depends on... I have a look at some things, and some things I feel like are great reaction videos, and some things maybe aren't. But this one I just had to react to. Obviously, this is early on in Angelina's career, and it's her... I guess it's the final show of Norway's Got Talent, when she won this at 6 or 7 years old or something like that, or 9 maybe. I don't know. You guys will fill me in the comments. There's just so much information, you know what I mean? I understand I'm a decade behind, and somehow I've missed this, but here we go. I'm trying to catch up. I'm doing my best. So, I'll jump straight in. Amazing 8-year-old Angelina Jordan wins Norway's Got Talent final show. So let's just have a look at this. Here we go.
Dette har vært en reise, og den ikke ennå ferdig.
Angelina, jeg tror jeg kan si at jeg elsker deg. I mitt hjerte har du allerede vunnet.
Jeg elsker å synge, og det skal jeg vise dere I kveld.
Nice. Wow. Oh.
And the curtain is high. Oh, your dad is rich.
Come on, listen to that. Wow.
And your ma is good looking.
She just really knows how to play with timing and stuff, which is bizarre. So bizarre.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry.
That's cute.
Summertime.
Oh, that was nice. Wow.
And the living is easy. Fish are jumping.
It's a beautiful song, but
And the curtain is high.
you really have to do a lot with it in that second verse, because it doesn't really change much, no? There we go.
Is rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, hey, don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
Very cool. He's so tiny. They don't know what to say. And what do you say? What is there to say? You know?
Omer, klarer du å snakke?
Hva skal man si? Det som et eventyr å sitte her og se på deg, Angelina. Jeg drømmer meg helt bort, og jeg vil bare si tusen takk for det du gir oss. Du en gave for norske talenter.
Bjarte?
Det hjelper liksom ikke, Angelina, hvor mange ganger du sier «Don't you cry». For jeg klarer bare ikke å la være. Og Gud vet jeg hadde lovet meg selv at jeg skulle prøve. Men du treffer noe inni meg når du synger. Og du treffer noe inni veldig mange når du synger. Og jeg Jeg sitter og tenker på at om 10 år så du 18 år. Jeg synes det helt ufattelig. Jeg vet ikke hva mer jeg skal si, Angelina.
I know I said kind of the same thing. It's like, you know, her being so talented at a young age gives her such an advantage for when she turns 16, 17, 18. When she becomes of an age where it's kind of more acceptable to be as talented as she is. It's kind of like everybody expects, you know, the occasional kid to come along who's impressive for a kid. But when you hit like 18, 19, being amazing is a little bit less of an unusual thing. You know, and even less so as you become 30 and 40. You know, by the time you hit 40, you should be very accomplished. You should be amazing at everything. And so it's tough being a child prodigy who then hits their 30s and it's like, well, now you're just as good as everybody else. But not necessarily, because you have that professional experience that you gain through your formative years that brings you up to speed faster than somebody who maybe sort of became noticeably talented when they were in their late teens, right? But you know, like it's a little bit unfair to say, can you imagine how talented you're going to be when you're 18 when she's already incredibly talented? It's like, can you imagine how talented you are now? It should be the appropriate thing to say, you know, and it's, you know, she is what she is. She's an unpolished gem here, and you can sense that. But what's interesting more so is just the little nuanced things that you would sort of expect, from someone who's a seasoned performer, like really nailing down the ends of notes or those little vibrato moments that, you know, are these little artistic flourishes that you wouldn't expect from somebody who, at her age, you see talented kids, but they're typically more mimicking something else. You know, like they'll hear a singer that they love it. Like, say, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of kids running around now who, you know, are little clones of Ariana Grande and things like that. But for whatever reason, she's taken that idea and she's just sort of turned it into her style, rather than sort of aping somebody else's style, you know. And it's simply amazing. I'm going to skip through because I haven't got a lot more to add to what these people are saying. I'm just seeing if there's any more performance at the end of this. I don't think there is. Just when they announce her as a winner. I'm sure you guys have all seen this clip 100 times. So let's just focus more on the music. I do have more to talk about. I'm going to jump back and talk about a couple of things, but right after the ad break. So stick around and we'll get into some more details. Hey guys, today's video is brought to you in part by Skillshare. Now, anyone who knows me will tell you that I have way too many interests and hobbies. I'm also what's known as an autodidact, which means I'm largely self-taught, but my interests vary wildly amongst an entire gamut of disciplines. Disciplines ranging from things like music production, composition, video production, YouTube content creation, 3D printing, 3D modeling, electronics, woodworking, drawing, painting, graphic design, computers and code. The list just goes on. And in order to become proficient in all of these disciplines, it's taken me a lifetime of skills gathered piecemeal here, there, and everywhere. By and large, it just takes so long to develop a skill level in any of those individual things. But it ain't the old days anymore. And today we've got services like Skillshare, a service that provides you with near limitless amounts of information for one small subscription fee. Seriously, all of their curated learning modules and lessons and classes, they're all available at your fingertips. What if you're a graphic designer and then one day you just need to learn something very specific in the world of spreadsheets? Your Skillshare account has you covered. And the courses are all curated, meaning that there's a standard level of competency required for anyone to be teaching a course. And the best part about all this is Skillshare offers free trials. So all you need to do is click the link in the description. It'll take you to their site and you can start learning right now. Or, you know, like wait till after my video. But either way, look, Skillshare. Yeah, so all right. There was, you know, I mean, I could sit here all day talking about how unusual a talent she is for her age. And, you know, struggling with a few things. One would be a lack of, you know, live performance experience in a setting like this at this age. Like, that's so daunting. And I don't see any hint of nerves or anything like that. She has no, at this point, what I would consider to be showmanship. But that's not necessarily important, right? Sometimes the best performance is when someone goes out on stage with just a microphone and sings a cappella and just stands there and just delivers something amazing, you know? So I don't necessarily think that that's even a consideration. Her show, her appeal visually is obviously the fact that she's unusually young. She has that sort of like barefoot ingenue kind of like Les Miserables kind of feel, we know, with the unkempt hair and the no shoes and the party dress or whatever, and surrounded by flowers and things. So that's kind of the act, but the performance is what's key here. And you know, there's certain things about what she does, like her control over. There's a high note here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. In the second time through.
Oh, your dad is rich, and your mom is good looking.
And she has that interesting thing where she has that low vibrato. Good looking. I can't do it, but like she's, you know, there's something. It's a flavor of hers that's like good looking. She has an unusual sort of fluttery vibrato down there, almost as if it's bottoming out to breathiness instead of being like a wavering sort of. She's like, I can't do it. I'm not exactly sure how she does it, but that command of that high note, while still maintaining the stylistic essence of the note. She breathes into the note, goes up high into a part of a range where, I mean, you wouldn't expect her to have a lot of experience using. And then she brings that note just to the point where it crescendos, and then she puts the vibrato and then moves on. It's a command of the note that just... There's seasoned adult vocalists who don't have that kind of nuance in their performances. You know, it's wild. Let's see if I can find any more gems here. I love how she casts a glance over to the trumpet player. I was thinking, is she looking for a cue? But there doesn't appear to be. I think she just needed somewhere to look.
So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
I thought that was cute too. The little ha 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 ha, little breathy little lick thing that she sort of figured out.
And your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby.
Just see, it's got that sort of like 1940s Betty Boop aesthetic there, like the so hush little baby, you know, she's putting that sort of flair in there, but she doesn't, I can't imagine that she would understand what that is. Like, what's the context of that? First of all, she's not even singing in her own language, you know, so finding meaning in the words is, you know, it would seem so ephemeral because none of it makes sense to her, right? At this point, at least not the context of what those words mean. And then you've got her being able to rub some sauce on it, you know, like hush little baby, don't you cry, whatever she's doing, you know, and just these little nuanced elongated notes that are just a little bit too long, that gives it a groove, you know.
So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
She looks like a little hobbit. She's so tiny. You know what? This is a challenging song for them to have given her for the finale, right? I'm assuming this is the finale performance, because it's literally just a verse sung twice. And, you know, there might be a couple of little words here and there that are switched around, but it's like, okay, kid, you've sung it through once. Now figure out another way of singing it that's going to keep people engaged, you know? It's a tricky one, man. It's a classic. It's a classic sort of standard, but I don't know. It's a tricky one. Like, it doesn't, when you want to win a singing competition, there's a few elements that you need to employ typically, and that's a big finishing note, typically a key change, production that builds over time, a big stage presence, some sort of like interaction with maybe a choir or laser beams or something. This is what all the other performers do to win these shows, in conjunction with the producers of the show, obviously. But in her case, they've just handed her a microphone and said, go stand in the flowers and sing the song. And it was enough. It's...
Fish are jumping, and the curtain is high.
Again, there's that. That's more of like a 60s kind of high. It's like a nasally kind of, you know. I'm trying to think of the singer Shirley Bassey was who I was thinking of. She's got that sort of no sort of thing as well. Angelina doesn't lean into it as harshly, so it's kind of much more pleasant to listen to. Not that they've got a problem with Shirley Bassey, mind you, but to be fair, like her version of I Who Have Nothing is good, but I find Tom Jones's one to be chef's kiss. But it's like anything. It's the first one you heard is your version, you know. But I don't know how we got off topic there.
And the curtain is high. Oh, your dad is rich.
You can hear the record crackle. You know what I mean? Like from the turntable. It's amazing how much your brain adds to the whole scenario.
Hush, little baby. Hey, don't you cry. Don't you cry.
Wow.
Don't.
The other thing that's remarkable too is that she's doing these sort of improvisations of the melody, obviously, because you got to mix it up, and she's doing it in such a way that she's always landing on these jazzy notes, and that's something that's like, you know, these little blue notes and stuff like that are things that no one sat her down and said, okay, here's a scale, you know, and then let's put a blue note in there, you know, something to make it sound bluesy or jazzy. No one sat her down and said, this is the note you need to sing to make it sound that way. She has an instinct that just brings her to those notes, you know. I'm still struggling to understand it, to be perfectly honest. But look, I'm glad I'm experiencing these performances, because in a way it's kind of humbling. It's like, you know, a lot of times we get bogged down in the details, like, oh, I struggle to do this particular guitar technique, or I can't hit that note, or sometimes, you know, like I've been on a journey to try and understand how to do more harsh vocals, and sometimes it doesn't feel right, and you can't figure out how a person does that sound or whatever. It's not about that. It's about doing what you're comfortable with and what you love to the best of your ability. And other things will come in time. You'll get better at that guitar technique, or you'll be able to hit that note. But it's not like you can't create magic without those things for now. You should just work on what you're doing now and just put passion and love into it. And maybe in the next song or the next performance or the next show or whatever, you'll be able to add something later, because music's a journey, you know. I mean, it would be to sit here and imagine that this is, looking at this performance, this is the best Angelina Jordan's ever going to be, is silly. But she's good enough to win Norway's Got Talent and blow people's minds every time she walks on stage. And she's still not even at 100% of her own capacity, you know. And maybe that's who you are too. Maybe you can do the same thing. Maybe you're suffering from crippling doubt, self-doubt about like, oh, I can't learn to play piano, I'm too old, or I've, you know, this or that, or I'm tone deaf or whatever. Just do it. Just go. Just start. Like the hardest part of any of this stuff is picking up the guitar the first time and saying, maybe I can do that. Or standing in front of a mic at karaoke and thinking, I'm going to give this my best shot, you know. You'd be amazed at what you can achieve. And if Angelina Jordan teaches us anything, it's that. You can do anything if you set your mind to. Doesn't matter how young or old you are, or anything. The journey's out there. You just have to take the step, you know. That's what they say about the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Couldn't be more true. Anyway, I hope it brightened your day, at least a little bit. If you feel like supporting the channel, just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. But also you can just hit the thanks button underneath the video on YouTube here. It's a way that YouTube's created to help support creators that you want to support. I appreciate all that sort of stuff. More than anything, like, share, follow, subscribe. If you've watched a few of my videos and you haven't hit subscribe yet, I'd really appreciate it if you did. It helps me get more of my message out there and you know, gives me incentive to do more of these. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. Especially appreciate the comments and the direction you guys give me. Even if I can't get to respond to everybody, I do appreciate you putting in the time and effort to type out these insane essays and things like that I keep coming across. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.